What's an unspoken rule that annoys you when people don't know about it? When your motorcycle is 160 decibels, maybe don't drive around the same block 35 times per day. Don't touch my fucking wheelchair. I cannot tell you how many times I've been shopping in the grocery store and someone has just rolled me out of their way instead of saying excuse me. Or once, rolled me out of the store to find my mommy. I was 26. Well, that's infuriatingly condescending. Don't block the footpaths. If you're waiting for something, move off it to the side. We're not obligated to walk around you because you have an ego. Let people know when you have them on speakerphone. Especially when your husband/wife/partner/friend/any other human is within earshot. One of my friends is always driving his mom places, so when we call him he very often answers through his car's Bluetooth stereo. She's a very strict and nosy lady, and every time he would mention that we're on speaker she would get upset and think he was up to no good. So we came up with a simple system. Every time anybody in our friend group calls him, we always ask, "Can you hear me?" If he's alone he'll just let us know, but if he's with his mom he'll respond loud and clear. We then know not to mention anything she wouldn't like to hear. It's worked like a charm for the last 4 years. Edit. Some are confused about why he didn't just mention that we're on speaker in his car or announce his mom's presence. I did my best to explain it in the comments below, but here's my best TLDR, his mom wants to be in the know. If she was actually in the know, we'd never see him again. The system keeps her out of the know without her knowing she's out of the know. You know? Longer explanation below, greater than. His mom has always been aware of our shenanigans, but optimistically assumed that he actively stayed out of trouble. However, she was still very nosy, and wanted to know what we would get up to when adults weren't around. Of course, if we knew she was listening in on our phone conversations, we would filter what we say. She understood this too, and wanted to know what we would say if we didn't know she was listening, so if he announced her presence she would get upset with him thinking that he was trying to be sneaky, which he was. This is why we came up with this system. It keeps her blissfully unaware that we're censoring ourselves, and keeps him out of trouble. We're all grown now and don't get up to much shenanigans these days, so it's not as useful as it once was, but all his calls always start with "Can you hear me?" Purely out of habit. Edit 2. Can't believe I have to say this, but his mom isn't/wasn't some abusive tyrannical monster. She's a well put together woman who has accomplished a lot and built her family's life from the ground up. She can be nosy, but not unreasonable. When I agreed with a comment below saying that she could sometimes be a nightmare, that didn't mean she was a bad mother. It just meant sometimes she would blow up on him about bad grades or if she found out we were doing something we shouldn't have been doing. Not abusive, just disappointed/angry because she wants the best for him. From the outside looking in, it might have seemed like a nightmare to me, comparatively because my mother is very easygoing, but in reality she was just really hard on him sometimes. Albeit deserved for doing stupid shit. So quit it with all the comments hating on a woman you've never met, it's weird. We're all adults now. Yes, he lives his own life. Yes, he loves his mother, we all love her. And yes, he still drives her places when he's home from college, because they enjoy each other's company. Sorry if this post turned sour quick. I was hoping to quickly share a funny story that might get buried, but here we are. Also, if you are on a hands-free ear device, don't look straight at people talking when you're actually talking to the people on the phone. Had this happen at the grocery store. Was like, "What are you going on about?" And then they look offended and tap their ear. When you're in the elevator with a group of people and get to the bottom, and it opens, and a handful of people lurch forward to get in. Now we are standing there, face to face in gridlock. During this moment you say to yourself, how long until they realize they are the ones who have to move or you are not going to get out of the elevator, ever? Then you see a look of surprise sweep over their face, and then they move back. Same in the trains. If someone says they're not drinking tonight, don't make them feel bad or imply they are being boring. Normalize this. People have numerous reasons why they don't drink for an evening or ever, but the one thing that's certain is it's no one else's fucking business. Pointing out awkward situations. If it wasn't awkward before, it now definitely is. I remember when a friend of mine brought his new girlfriend to my house. I introduced myself, asked if she wanted a drink, all the standard stuff. My friend goes upstairs to take a piss, and me and the new girlfriend are sat there for about 2 seconds before she blurts out awkward, "Bitch, it is now." This drives me insane. I don't understand why everything like this is considered awkward, or better yet, who gives a fuck if there's a bit of silence when you're just meeting someone. I have silent moments with people I've known for years and it's really not that serious. Shouldn't this be fucking normal? We're not robots, yet. Half the time is not even awkward, they just feel the need to awkwardly fill the silence. If I'm turning away from you, I'm trying to walk away, stop continuing to bring up new conversation points. Stand 2 meters back from the airport baggage carousel. If everyone does it, then enters that ring to grab their luggage and leave, then everyone can see their luggage as it comes and no one is jostling. It never occurred to me until I traveled in South Korea and they had a white line around the carousel that everyone stood on. It was remarkably efficient and I wish the rest of the world adopted it. I was flying recently and 2 flights were dumped on the same carousel, but they announced that my flight was going to be the one whose baggage would come out first. Still, everyone from the other flight is crowding the carousel. I see my bag and I'm just barging through a thick group of people to get to my bag, and I could barely even see the carousel itself from further back. I don't get it, it doesn't move fast enough that you could miss it, most are circles. Also, no one who crowds the belt ever quickly takes their bag and leaves. When someone hands you their phone to use, don't fucking go through it. It's rude. I used to have students confirm they all individually had the necessary lab data before they left for the evening. They would take a photo of their partner's tables and then hand me their phones. I'd never touch them. Hands free, I'd say no, you scroll through your photos and show me the data. I'm not touching that. No way am I risking seeing something I don't want to. This should be a new social protocol. The new you get to use the bathroom, don't ruin it by going through the medicine cabinet. Don't immediately assume it's okay to smoke in someone's house, regardless of their living situation. I don't care if it's literally a cardboard box or an upscale mansion. Ask first. Also applies to vehicle edit, where are all you fuckers finding these awful people who spark up in your cars when you say no? Came here to say this, I always ask if I can smoke in someone's car even if the car smells like smoke and the owner is a smoker. If the car smells fresh, I don't even bother asking, I just don't smoke. I have had friends say it's okay who don't smoke and I just don't. It still feels rude somehow. People don't ask? Wow. I hesitate even after asking. Standing in fucking doorways, go in or out, but get the fuck out of the way. My cat would like a word. I tell my cat in or out. At least twice a day. To add on to this, having a full fucking conversation right in front of the door or in a small hallway, then getting offended when you're expected to fucking move. Right in front of a door, right at the end of an escalator, right outside an elevator. You don't need to attach yourself to the person in front of you when standing in queue. Similarly, please stand behind the person. Drives me crazy when a line starts to turn into a fan shape as people inch up closer and move to the sides. Just stand in line, dude. Re-racking your weights at the gym. You lazy FCKS. Just clean up after yourself, and leave things the way you found them, in all areas of life. I learned to do this as a child. When someone is helping you move, you offer them pizza and beer, no exceptions. If they don't drink, offer them soda or water. Someone in our group was moving to another state. He asked us to come over and help load the moving van. Not a single thing was packed, no boxes, clothes still in the drawer, plates still in the cupboard and electronics still plugged into the wall. We had to move all of his crap into the van as is. I was angry after that and have never spoken to him again. If you ask someone for help, do your part and be prepared for when they show up. Preferably a tank of gas, also considering they're probably driving a pickup truck that's gonna need a good bit to get from old place to new place. If you have too much background noise, mute your goddamn mic. You don't need to be this close when you're talking to me. I moved from England to Italy and people stand so close to you. To the point I was explaining something to someone and she was leaning on me. My French host brother, who I adore BTW, really loves to be right in your face when you're chatting. And I don't mean close up too, but if you're looking slightly over there he'll sort of lean over and put himself wherever your head's facing. If you're looking too far over there, he'll even instinctively step around so that you're looking at him again. As an Australian. This is weird, Aussie men like to face each other indirectly, so to speak. One day I decided I was gonna see how far I could take it, so while we were talking, every so often I'd deliberately turn just slightly so he'd have to step over, again and again. We ended up right back where we started. We'd done a 360. I don't think he noticed. XD. I remember my French teacher in high school would have us stand practically nose to nose for our conversations. She said that's how the French conversed, they didn't particularly care about personal space. Fast forward almost 2 decades and I'm working a new job, the owner is European, so on the first day she gets right up in my face to talk to me. I remember thinking I don't know if this is a European thing or a power play, but either way, I'm not moving. I had the opposite. I knew a guy who stayed always left of my line of sight. One day I tested it by sitting in a swivel chair while he talked to me. I kept turning to face him and eventually he started orbiting me while I spun in circles. He might have a hearing impairment. People who are deaf on one side tend to do that. Yeah, I'm mostly deaf in my right ear, so I tend to turn my head to the right when I'm trying to listen to someone. I turn back towards them when I speak, though, and tend to explain if they look confused. Bonks your nose with my nose. Hi. You smell lovely, sir. What lotion do you use? I used to have a colleague who would keep inching closer until within 5 centimeters. I've contemplated many times if I could get away with acting startled and accidentally headbutting him. I had the same. He would get in kissing range, and I would take a step back. He would step forward, and I would step back. Eventually we're walking in a little circle like we're dancing. I had a colleague that did this too, then I learned to step back but leave one foot forward. He now can't get closer without either stepping on or tripping over your foot. All of this reminds me of an AskReddit a while back on how to subtly F with people, and inching closer during conversations was one of them. I, pre-COVID, used to reverse do this in lines with people that would be too close to me. If I take a step away from you and you walk forward to bridge the non-existent gap, I will take another step forward, shifting my body onto my front foot, by leaving my back one in place. Once you have once again stood right behind me, I will shift my weight onto my back foot, bring my other leg back, and lean back. Boom. Accidentally bumping into you. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were right behind me. They then have to back up. Scoot closer when they do. When they stop, move even closer. You will reach their limit, cross it, get closer. They will avoid you after that. Warning, some idiots do not have a limit. Use advice at your own risk. Respect people's right to say no. It's okay to ask someone for something, or to do something, or whatever, but if they say no, don't pester them or guilt trip them. People who pressure their friends are kind of garbage friends. One thing that annoys me is when somebody asks for something, I say no, then they say please. I didn't say no because you were rude enough to not use your manners. I said no because I didn't want to. I say to my kids, thank you for asking nicely, but I can still say no. If someone is hosting you, don't insult or give a negative critique of their home. Some people have fewer resources than others, only one income to live off of, and have worked very hard to get less, etc. No need to point out home imperfections. Insane that someone would be rude enough to do this. If you're out at a restaurant/party/event with someone, don't offer any criticisms about their appearance unless they can actually change it. Oh, thank you for pointing out the spot I missed shaving. I'll just spend the rest of the night thinking about it and how I can do nothing about it. Cover your mouth when you sneeze. Apparently people don't know this. With your elbow, not your hand. Even my young son knows that. First time I was told that was when I was 20, my reaction was like, oh, that's not a bad idea. Move your cart to the side of the aisle when looking for groceries, don't hog up the middle. Oh, of course I'll wait for you to pick out a flavor of beans, Sharon, take your time. Even worse, 2 people stopped in the middle of the pedestrian crossing in my supermarket car park to have a chat. With cars waiting for them. I was dumbfounded at how oblivious they were. Walked into a Target once and no joke, a circle of like 20 people were just having a fucking reunion in the main artery into the store past the register areas. I loudly said, excuse me, A polite excuse me is for people innocently in the way, and pushed through, and of course they all turn to me with the most shocked, aghast facial expressions. Yeah, just go ahead and block entry to the entire store and everyone should just be cool that you're having a conversation. I try to be polite, but usually say, hey folks, another group has reserved this aisle for a party in 10 minutes, so maybe wrap it up? Admittedly, it worked better in an office environment. Waiting for others to exit an elevator or train before entering. Saying, thank you when someone holds a door open. 1 for 1 when merging lanes in heavy traffic. This one should be a law. It is in some places. It is sometimes even signed as zipper merging. I can't stand the assholes crowding the subway door. I wish the doors swung outward when they open to clear out the dickheads. I just walk straight into these morons. Fast pace and without excusing myself as if I have a train to catch. Just bump into the first one and the rest of them usually gets the message. Phones should be on mute in public places, especially the crib room at work. No one want to hear the video you are watching while they're trying to eat. Wow, glad I'm not the only one. It's been getting down to 10 degrees here, so I ditched eating in the car for the break room and found we have a gentleman who will play his stupid news show on blast through his phone speakers in a silent room of about 15 people. That it's common courtesy to say thank you after receiving help/service from someone else. Even if they just did their job. Thank the goddamn cashiers, bus drivers and doctors of this world. I remember thanking my dentist after he'd taken out my wisdom teeth. He was surprised. Apparently no other patient had ever thanked him while still leaking blood out of their mouth. Like it's not his fault these teeth didn't fit in my mouth, but he got them out. Thank you for that, sir. We had to rush, this shit should have never happened, but now we have to fix it. Task at work a few weeks back that involved almost the entire department devoting way too much time on it to get it done. Had used about 150 man-hours in a couple of days by the end. The next day we got an email thread of thank yous and praises from the process owner and quality, the global head of product management, and our CEO, amongst a few others on similar levels. I was almost ridiculed by my colleagues for being happy about that email. It is nice you're reading it that way. I do not need thanks for doing my job. Yeah, well, fuck off, Hannah. I do. Your colleagues must be fun. But that's not just thanks for doing your job. That's thanks for pushing through a rush job that required lots of coordination and could have been a disaster that took way too long if people didn't work together. Or really, thanks for making the company look good. Turn signals. They're meant to be a warning, not an afterthought. Wait, I have another. You shouldn't be texting while driving. That's a given. But for the love of all that is holy, if you are the lead car at a red light, pay attention to the light. Some lights are short and all of us need to get through it. Update Twitter later. I take my line leader duty seriously. If you're with a group of friends and you're going to do something together but not everyone is invited or going, don't bring it up. Oh man, a few of my friends have done that to me a couple of times recently and it isn't a good feeling. First time, they claimed that they thought they already had invited me after I mentioned that I was upset about being excluded, didn't buy that excuse. Second time, they were courteous enough to try and hide their plans from me, but they're also dumb fucks, so I were courteous enough to try and hide their plans from me, but they're also dumb fucks, so I caught them yet again. Oh, and I work with them too, so to top it off, this time they were actually asking me to stay late 2 hours past my shift and close for them so they could go hang out together. Fuck me, right? Honestly, I thought I had a pretty good relationship with those dudes, so it was pretty fucking devastating to feel like that was actually not the case. We are now cordial to each other, but we are no longer friends. People don't like being made to feel second class, especially not from those who are supposed to be there for you as friends. I'm a grown-ass man, but that shit made me cry a little. Please, don't ever do this shit to your friends. People that asks questions every third scene in a movie when it will be explained later. Hey, why is this character doing this thing? Just keep watching, you'll see. 10 minutes later, so now what's this character doing that for? Just keep watching, you'll see. 30.5 seconds later, hey, why is he doing that now? Just watch the motherfucker, and these questions won't be fucking necessary, I promise you. This is my wife. It never sinks in that sometimes there's a writing device where a character does something shocking/confusing in the moment, only for it to be explained later. I don't understand how she can continue to be stymied by this. I had an ex who would do this. What was worse is she would say things like, just start the movie now, I'll be there in a minute. I'd say important things happen in the first seconds of movies, and she's like, nah, it's fine. Also going to the toilet, I'd offer to pause for her, nah, it's fine. Then the inevitable questions come because she missed important shit. As someone who gives 100% attention to something I'm watching, this drives me nuts. Either we watch it properly or just turn it off and do something else. If you like the video, hit that subscribe button for more content. I post every day, and I'll see you next time with more stories.